You wake up in your bed and you're only 12 years old. Everything since was just a dream, but you have the knowledge of your older self. What do you do differently? This should be good. I'd work out more, and I give up on certain friends and try harder with some. Really only 3 that come to mind are worth trying to stick with this time around. I'd ignore the rest. Not sure what else I'd do really. This speaks to me. I'd hung out with a lot of assholes and let them push me around because I thought they were cool and I was obsessed with popularity. There were some more genuine kids, but I didn't seek them out like I should have. Everything. Just everything. I was reading my live journal that was mostly written from age 18 to 20. I didn't think I was a fucking idiot, but I definitely was a fucking idiot. I actually see that as a good thing. It's good when people evolve, like when people say, hey, I learned a lot and changed my opinion on something. Not say that I want to be a doctor when I get older. That would save me a ton of headache and needling. Also change my study habits, walking habits, hygiene habits, and speaking habits. Another ton of headaches gone. Are you a doctor yet? You no talk to me until you doctor. And don't get me started on, there are 19-year-olds with master's degrees, and yet here you are, 23, and with an associate in a degree no one cares about. Honestly, you really disappoint. I wish I could change myself completely. Granted, I may or may not be happy, but at least my loved ones might be happy with the new me. Nah, that is not the way to go. Live for you, not for your family or anyone else. I'd immediately start making plans to leave the house ASAP. Same here. I would leave ASAP and try and get the hell out of the country. Start life over, away from that awful town and relatives. It wouldn't be fair getting my childhood back and having to relive all that crap. 1. Avoid all debt. 2. Get a degree in a different subject. And 3. Marry someone else. Damn, you surely regret a lot of important things. I hope life gets better for you. Kudos. I think there's an area between regret and how I use a do-over. I'm perfectly content with my life, but I'd still play it a lot differently if I had the chance. Invest money. Hey mom, can you put my allowance in the stock market this month? I swear you won't regret it. Honey, I think our child is a market savant. He just made 3.2 million in profit from investing in Windows. By that point, you wouldn't even live with your parents. They'd live with you. Cry. Cry beyond happiness that I'm back in 2005 and begin playing Dungeons and Dragons. There's a website called Roll20. Maybe you could play again. Go to the f***ing gym and never start smoking. Definitely never start smoking. And maybe remember one or another lottery number or a big sports result, just to make sure. My understanding is that this isn't time travel, but a life lesson type dream. I'm still betting on the Patriots at halftime when they're down 28-3 versus Atlanta. Tell my dad to go get checked for a brain aneurysm every year. Well, holy crap. I woke up this morning and found how much this blew up, including some silver and a couple of other badges. Thank you all for your kind words and support. So, I guess the full story is in order. I lost my dad when I was 32, not 12, but I would still spend 20 years watching him carefully and begging him to have a yearly scan or test or whatever if it meant getting another day with him. My mum and I were on vacation visiting my brother, who had just had his first baby, when my dad passed. He did not come with us because he had recently retired, so he and my sister were planning to ride their motorcycles across the country together to see the baby. It was the last day of my trip, and I was spending it with a cousin who lives in the area. My mom was staying behind for another week. Even though my dad was officially retired, he was working part-time as a handyman at a local rec centre and was supposed to go to work that morning. My uncle ran the rec centre and didn't find out until late in the day that my dad did not show up for work. My aunt called my mom to say that my dad didn't show up. My mom knew right then that something was wrong. My dad showed up. If you told him 6 years ago to show up at your doorstep at this exact time, he would be there right on time. My mom then called another uncle, one of my dad's brothers who lived near us, to go and check on him. He is the one who found him on the bathroom floor. My world hasn't been the same since. I was standing on a street corner in Los Angeles waiting for a table at a restaurant when my mom called to tell me. We assumed that since it was an unattended death, he wasn't sick, that an autopsy would be performed. We didn't find out until weeks later when we got the death certificate that one was not performed. We had been given a cause of death as hardening of the arteries. My mom asked her cardiologist the next time she went in if that could have been determined without an autopsy, And he said no. I did a little research on the subject and found an article that states that sometimes that cause of death is given when the coroner wants to chalk it up to natural causes. We figured on the aneurysm as cause of death because my dad had a brother who died at home by himself at roughly the exact same age. An autopsy was performed on him though, and probably because he had not been found for a while and foul play could not be so easily ruled out. We didn't know that aneurysms were genetic. God, I wish we did. I mentioned in another comment that about a month before his death, he came back home from work suffering from the worst headache of his life. My mom was worried and tried getting him to go to the hospital, but he refused, and the headache was gone by morning. I've read that it's really the only warning sign of an impending aneurysm rupture. The only good to come out of it was that my mom saw how hard my sister and brother and I took the loss, and she realised that she couldn't put us through that again anytime soon if she could help it. So she started taking care of herself much better. She's the one with diabetes and had heart surgery. Before losing my dad, she was just kind of nonchalant about taking care of herself. She told my dad she wouldn't go through heart surgery again, even when the doctor had concerns about her other valve. When the endocrinologist scolded her about the A1C, she kind of blew it off. She's a champ now though. She splits her time between living with my brother and sister and also spends a week here and there with me, and we all make sure she never goes without a prescription. And my sister goes to every doctor appointment with her. She turns 70 this year, and our plans to throw her a party were fucked by COVID-19, but I think we will still manage something. My dad's birthday is this coming Friday. He would have been 70 as well. The sun rose and set with my mom, as far as he was concerned. He would have given his life for her, and maybe he did, but holy do I miss him. Start lifting weight. Start now. This is my worst mind F. I keep telling myself I could look much better if I started lifting weights a year ago, and then I think if I start now I'll be a year behind the image in my head. Then I don't, because I'm already behind, so why compete? Humans, man. Think of yourself as dead. You have lived your life, now take what's left and live it properly. Marcus Aurelius. If any of you guys get the chance to read Meditations, if you haven't done already, read that book. It's amazing.